Here we are. What's the date?
And if you say, yeah, you can go home, March 17th, then
All right.
everybody's free.
Can I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I'm Greg Harrison, I'm County Commissioner, Precinct 1. I'm also interim judge, Angelina County. Let the record show, we're gonna have an emergency meeting at 5 o'clock on, I got this date, March 17th, 2020. And it's concerning imminent danger to our county. I would like to say all the commissioners are present. The county judge, he had a different obligation this afternoon. So if you don't mind, please stand. We're going to do the prayer. Mr. Pitts.
Kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Lord. We just thank you for this day. We thank you for each and every one here, who they represent, the families, and their service to this county, Lord. Most of all, we just pray that this meeting goes to be pleasing to you, Lord. All the decisions made here be pleasing to you. We just ask you, Lord, to continue to protect this family and this county and this state, Lord, from this virus that's coming. Just ask all these things in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. If y'all will, remain standing and Commissioner Cheshire do the American flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you will, Mr. Kennedy.
honor
To the flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. You may be seated.
spot on.
All right, let me just go ahead and do this. Angelina County Notice of Emergency Meeting, Section 551.045, exception to General Rule, Angelina County Commissioners Court, 5 p.m., Tuesday, March 17, 2020, Angelina County Courthouse, Commissioners Courthouse, 606 East Lufkin Avenue, Lufkin, Texas. The agenda is an emergency or an urgent public necessity exists only if immediate action is required of a governmental body because of, and this is the number one thing to talk about, an imminent threat to public health and safety, including a threat described by subdivision 2, a responsibility unforeseeable situation, including an epidemic. Okay, we have the next.
Let's stop right there.
Okay, go. What's your pleasure, guys?
Well, this is something that everybody is aware of, and every agency around us is taking action, preemptive action, to curtail and help prevent and circumvent disaster, so to speak. A lot of us believe that there's some hype. So a lot of us believe that there is severe immediate threat. We do have a confirmed case in Montgomery County, which is south of us, of a deceased individual. And, please keep that family in your prayers. We have a confirmed case in Smith County that's north of us. We're sitting right in the middle of it. And the only agency that hasn't done anything so far is us. And I think that was brought to light, and I don't mean to point any individual out, but I think he deserves a lot of credit. Judge Inselman stated earlier today that he took some preemptive actions, and I think our court needs to consider doing the same thing. And if Judge Inselman doesn't mind, I'd like for him to address this court on just exactly what he has done, and maybe even suggest for the rest of us to do as well.
Okay. Let me first say this. I told a couple of y'all I went to an agricultural mechanical school. I got a science degree, but unfortunately, it's in political science. So I do not know much about the terrible situation that's going on here. I don't know whether it's going to, it probably is in Angelina County. The virus, according to the CDC, has been spreading exponentially. We don't know where it is and how the severity is going to be. So I've gotten information from the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, which is the highest criminal court, as well as the Texas Supreme Court, as well as the Office of Court Administration. Based upon what I've saw, is a situation where we ought to be proactive and not wait until we have our first confirmed case of the coronavirus. I mean, we sure don't want to wait until we have our first death. So what I did earlier today, and I sent Judge Lindberry an email. I don't have it with me, but the gist of it is, starting today, I shut down the 217. I had jury selection scheduled for the 23rd. The Office of Court Administration, as well as the Supreme Court, said, don't have a large docket gatherings and don't have jury selection. So we've taken action and so that we don't have that situation come about. And so we're in the public service business. We all are. Everybody here, we're here to serve the public. But we're not here to endanger our staff. We're not here to endanger, because we could be carriers. I don't know. We don't want to endanger the public. So what harm does it to have a break? What harm is it to say, let's take off some time? And literally, I've scheduled stuff for the 30th. So all next week, we're going to stay at home. This isn't a vacation. These people, our employees, are not going to be taking a vacation. They should be home and taking care of their family. And then, part of the problem is, if we got kids, and some of the young kids, if they go to daycare, daycares are closing down, but they are carriers. We are carriers. We don't know. So let's be on the safe side here. Let's be on the smart side. And I didn't realize about the Montgomery County situation, but it's coming. And so let's just take a step back. Now, also in my email, I said this, and this may be a bit of a controversy, but I told Judge Lindberry that I was not planning on docking my staff, not taking away their vacation time or their comp time or their sick time because of this situation. I think that I assume a few of y'all watched the president's presentation the other day, and he did the right thing. He turned it over to the experts. That those directors of the CDC know more than we'll ever know. And if they tell us to stay at home, you better stay at home. So y'all do what you want to do, but you're not doing the public any good by coming to work and perhaps spreading this terrible virus. So anyway, anybody got any questions, thoughts?
Thank you, buddy.
Because what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to wait till the 30th. We'll reevaluate it on Monday. If it's fine, if the CDC says come back to work, great. Guess what? We'll come back to work. The work that's been built up over this past week, we're going to catch up. We're going to have to do that work. But if they say it's still a dangerous situation and you're endangering the public, yeah, we're going to bite the bullet and we're going to stay at home. At least we are, my court. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to say something. I think, like Judge Inchman said, we are public servants, but, I mean, where do you draw the line? Is it gonna matter that somebody's late getting their car registered or whatever? And I just say, let's do, and I don't know the legalities of it. Maybe we'll get the county attorney up in a little bit about it, but I think as department heads and elected officials, I think we can make that decision. you know, like my department, we're probably the least vulnerable out on the roads, but you guys, like Billy and y'all are right there. You know, I just say try to do stuff through the drive-throughs to the point that you feel safe doing it, and then, if you don't feel safe doing that anymore, I'm pretty sure that we can come up with something to make it up. You know, I don't think nobody's gonna get a ticket for being out of, expiration, their car being out of expiration whenever the courthouse has been closed or whatever. So I think we can overcome all of that. Yeah.
Please, Ms. Bates.
I just want to say that the governor signed off on the DMV, waiving all the penalties and late fees and that sort of thing. And it's gonna, until they, lift that, then after that, they still have 60 days to renew and register and transfer titles. So the state and the DMV in particular have already addressed that, and there's not going to be any penalties for being late on those transactions.
You know, I've literally had surveyors call me, well, what are we gonna do? I said, do it email. There's some stuff you can't do email. I said, then wait, you know. You may not make your sale on your piece of land for another month, but maybe nobody dies from coronavirus, so that's just my thoughts. I don't know.
I'll say this, I mean, literally, the Texas Supreme Court has suspended all the rules, I mean, including the statute of limitations in which you have to file things. So good common sense should rule the day. And if the Supreme Court tells you, suspend the rules and we'll do things completely different, surely I think Angelina County, we're going to use common sense. You're going to use common sense. Even if somebody didn't tell you, you're going to go, well, you know what? You're 3 days late, or you're 7 days late, or 15 days late on a car registration. Nah, we're not going to do it. We're smart people.
Right.
So let's show how smart we are by doing the right thing.
Right.
So anyway, sorry.
Do you have a, when we draw this up, we on item 2, we specified that through March 31st. Do you have let me get my calendar out, look at maybe a recommendation?
30th Monday, I believe.
30th?
Yeah, 30th was a Monday. I like Mondays. Honestly, I think we should look at it as in county government, and say literally next week, unless it's an essential, and I think all of us are essential. I mean, when people talk about government, essential government, yeah, everybody here is essential. But there's some functions that are essential that particular day. Like, I'm going to be coming to court every day to do jail call. It's because the people are going to need a lawyer. That's the Constitution. That's what we have to do. I mean, but I think, Sheriff, they suspended visitation at the jail, right? That's good common sense, by the way. Thank you.
Right.
But even if I appoint a lawyer, doesn't mean that the lawyer's going to be able to see them right now. But I guess what I'm saying is, I would literally, next week, everybody should stay at home, take care of your kids, take care of your business at home, but stay there. This isn't a vacation. This isn't just, hey, we're going to have a fun time. But literally stay at home for a week, and then have y'all decide, have the department side, but y'all take the leadership from this commission and decide whether we come back to work that following week. Schools are staying closed till somewhere April the 3rd. April the 3rd?
All of Angelina County.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I heard today, a while ago coming up here, that TxDOT was actually shutting down for the.
Well, I think the 31st would be a good day. That would allow us to meet back here on the 30th, and we need to extend it, we can.
good idea. Let's just do that. I mean, that,
Okay, so as of right now, we have 9 city and school elections that we are in, that we're programming for. And we've got trains that we've got this next week.
There's a primary that was suspended today.
The runoff?
No, there was a primary, I forget what state it was.
Oh,
Governor suspended
Yeah.
it
yeah. But
today.
as far as right now, the governor has not signed off. on
Well, I get that,
anything
yeah.
when is
for
the
elections.
school board?
That would be the second, May the 2nd. But early voting starts in April, and I've got new machines, and I've got things that we have to train these people for. Otherwise,
Okay,
they're not
well,
gonna-
let me ask you this, would, if we didn't, this upcoming week, the week of, starting, the 23rd of March, that week, is that needed for training that week?
I actually have them scheduled incoming on Thursday to come at 9 and
26th.
at 3, and I did limit it to 13 and less. And I plan on keeping the chairs at least 6 foot apart from everybody. And I'm only using one machine that I will be touching.
Okay, and that may be a situation where, you know, there's an exemption to this. This is using some common sense. I don't know, where do you train? I've never, right here? Okay,
Right here.
okay, well, and that's one of those things that might have to happen.
Yeah.
But,
If you didn't have the public coming in and out, it'd be
yeah,
a
if
whole
you
lot
have
safer to go
13
ahead and do
individuals,
that.
and I would literally tell them, ask them, you know, have you had a fever, have you been in contact? If you have any symptoms of it, they don't need to be here.
I sent a mass email out to them already, letting them know if they have a cold, they have a temperature of any sort, please notify me and let me
Well,
know
and-
so we can reschedule.
And if they can't do it that Thursday, can they do it the next Thursday?
It would be something, if they can make it this Thursday, then that would be great if they're not sick. If they are sick, we'll reschedule at any point that we
Okay.
need to.
Look at rescheduling, or if you're gonna do it, then do it in a situation where you do comply with the social distancing that has been suggested.
Yeah, you are doing, I mean, she's using very common sense, so,
Yeah.
you know, about keeping them separated and all that. That's good thinking. So,
That's right. I think it needs to be department head.
Yeah,
or elected
yeah,
official,
and-
because each situation is gonna be different.
Right.
Yeah, but realistically, we all wanna sort of be on the same page, but make
Right.
exceptions to that if necessary.
Right.
So-
And speaking of payroll, department heads need to come in so we can do their time where they need to do it from home.
Okay. How do they turn them into you?
They turn them into Janice. Janice never says anything, but I'm the mouth around here.
Okay, so,
I'm just sitting here waiting so they can say I can go home and I don't have
okay,
to work.
so,
It's paid.
okay, I'm not really good at that whole payroll thing. I don't know how I can get a check, so,
We send it to you.
well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And we want to do that again next week, but don't we need time turned in?
Everybody's gotta
Sure.
turn their time in if
Yeah.
they wanna
What
get a
day,
paycheck.
what day do they need to turn their time in by?
Has to be in by Monday at noon, no
Okay.
later than Monday
I also
on noon.
need to know if we're having commissioners court next week, because I have to move money for check, so I need to know those two things before we leave.
We do
I-
have to
we're gonna have
court,
court.
though.
Well, yeah, I would suggest you all have court,
We'll have court.
and I think that if you, I mean, you can have an audience, but if you were smart, you'd have a very small audience.
Right.
Have direct the department heads to turn in their timesheets just as is, which is Monday at noon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's,
So what are we looking at? Are we looking at being off the next week or leaving it up to department heads to make that decision on how things work? I know, Ms. Page has outlined, procedure in her office, which I read this morning, and it seems like it should work, but I'm not sure about the county clerk's office or district clerk's office where they constantly have people coming in their office.
I think if we're non-essential, that we need to stay home.
True.
Non-essential needs to stay home. I mean, it's just that, and if your department head says that you're essential, then I think you
Well,
need to make some accommodations.
honestly, business is gonna, and Amy, you probably can address it, has business been down? Has,
A little bit.
a little bit?
I mean, I have been surprised of the number of people that have come in to still get birth certificates, marriage license, but
Okay, if, well, I guess marriage is, you have to get married, but, what I'm getting at is, I wonder how many of those can actually,
right.
you know, if you were there, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be there in my office, I'll check messages, and I think IT has figured out how to forward the phones to your
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
phone. I just think realistically, if the elected officials would just be there, at least part of the day, and, you know, leave a note on the outside of the courthouse that, we're gonna have to limit our hours,
We'll
folks.
have to limit it.
I mean, eliminate or limit your hours. I mean, we're inviting people. I mean, we are literally inviting people to come in to a place where we do not know whether the virus is even there.
She was telling me earlier today that she has people coming in from all over the United States
Right.
into her office. I mean, literally.
Well, we actually had some people come in from San Antonio on Friday, to get a birth certificate, and rumor was that they were supposed to be in quarantine. And they came to my office to get
And you
birth
know how much enforcement you have to do anything about that right now?
None.
Zero. I mean, you literally could you could have flown from state of Washington, Seattle. You could have come in here and walked into the Angelina County Courthouse and said, hey, guess what? I want my birth certificate, I want to get married, or whatever the case may be.
We actually had a gentleman from Washington in the office today.
Did you give him a big hug?
I sprayed very thoroughly after he left.
Anyway, honestly, I think the best policy at this stage is, and obviously it's what I did,
I'm gonna have to get aggressive.
is I just shut it down for a week, and if there's an emergency, have an emergency number posted on the outside of the courthouse, and if you need some particular service, you know, you can call, you know, if it's a clerk, county clerk, you can call you, or call Reeves Squires, or call Judge Insolin. I got my cell phone, half the county must know it, so that's what I think we ought to do, but I'm not in charge of this.
So if we do decide that they take off, are we going to take that off as sick time, or, I think
we're gonna pay them regular time. It's not gonna cost them sick time, and it's not gonna cost them vacation time.
Let me say something on that. This is something that ain't never one of us in this room asked for. This is a sickness that's jumped up here on us. So it's not their fault, the employee's fault that this has happened. So why would you say, okay, you have to take off, but we're not gonna pay you? I mean, that wouldn't make any sense
not
to
right.
me at all, you know what I mean? I just think if the court decides that you guys need to be off, well, I think if it's a week, we pay you for a week. And, I mean, we have money allocated, correct? You know, so,
This is the very same thing that the governor and President Trump alluded to as well.
yeah.
And if we were to sign the disaster declaration for Angelina County, we would be eligible for funds to be reimbursed for this.
Yeah, I do not want to go down in history as being one of them old commissioners that said, don't worry about it. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
I think we need, as a commissioner's court, these are all family out here, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I try to treat them like that, but we gotta take care of these folks too. I mean, they gotta be taken care of. And if we don't do it, who is? And
I agree.
I just think we need to be very, very proactive here. And, that's just my opinion, guys.
I think if I understand it right, and maybe the county attorney wants to address it, but if I understand it right, the department head can set the hours of work for their employee. And they can work from home or whatever.
Commissioner, there is, to answer your question, there is some authority in the form of an attorney general opinion out there that indicates that an elected official can set the hours of work in the sense that the commissioner's court doesn't necessarily have complete control over that issue. So the answer is yes, an official can determine the hours that their office is going to be open and operating. That's really in the context of, you know, regular business hours on a day-to-day basis, but, I guess the overall question of whether, an official can just send people home indefinitely, might be slightly different, and that's something I would need to get back with the court on, but as far as the payment on those terms, but, the authority that I've been able to find in just the brief time that I've had to look at the issue indicates that, you know, the officials themselves do have some discretion over when the hours, when their employees will work and the hours that they're gonna be working, so.
Well, I'm sorry, were we talking about like 1 week off and then if we'll come back and look at it? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's
To start.
basically.
And then after that, if it still looks bad, then we'll go from there?
Greg, let me explain, if I may. I've done a lot of reading on this, and this virus has about a 50-day cycle, okay? And right now, we're 7 days into our 50 days, so we got 43 more days of this virus to cycle through. It's the same cycle that China has gone through. It's the same cycle that Italy's going through. Right now, Italy is ground zero, and they are being inundated at this point in time. You give us another 5, 10, 12 days, we could be just as bad off and hurting as China was.
Or we could be
Or we could.
in pretty good shape.
Or
So
we could
that's
be
the
in
reason.
good shape, absolutely.
You know, so I don't
For us
know,
to-
I don't know
for
the
us
answer
to be
to
in
it,
good,
'cause I'm
for
not
us to be
doctor.
in good shape, we need to be proactive.
Right.
Okay? And I would I would much rather us be overreactive in this incident than being reactive when it does hit.
Right, and I understand that.
And that's why, if you read that at number 2, I suggested a period until March 31st. That's 14 more days.
Yeah.
Okay? If we say Angelina County is shutting down for 14 more days until the 31st, or even the 30th, and allow us to look at it again, if we need to extend it, you know, for.
Past that.
Past that, we
Yeah.
can, except for essential services, such as the sheriff's office, such as payroll, because everybody needs to get paid, you know, and things like that. I think we're gonna be safe. I do. Because, like I said, we've got agencies all around us, including inside our entity of Angelina County, that are closing their doors.
Yeah.
You know, they're ordering businesses for takeout only, you know.
Well, you know what scares me about the whole deal is usually, it starts at the county, we go in and say, oh, we got a big problem. Emergency, we got a problem. Then it goes to the state level, they say, yeah, y'all have a problem. Then it goes to the federal level, yes, y'all got a big problem. But I'm gonna tell you something, people, it's starting up there,
It has started.
at the federal level first. And it's dribbling down to us now. And I just feel like we need to be very, very proactive on this deal. So,
I'd like to see, now y'all may not agree with me, I'd like to see us close the doors until the 30th. And then, or till the 31st, and then allow us to come back and meet on the 30th to assess with the health department, with emergency management, with department heads again, and say, hey, look, what do y'all think? You know, if we need to extend it, or do we need to go back to work beyond essential services? But y'all tell me what you got in mind. That's just my opinion. Melanie?
come on.
Trouble. Hey, I'm Minnie Walker. I work for Billy in the tax office, and I just wanted to say that, you know, we are public servants. We come to work every day to serve the public. In our office particular, we can't offer any service for them that's immediate that the government hasn't extended. I mean, government haven't extended all of our services. No point for us to be there other than exposing ourselves to the public for no reason. Even the drive-through, it's little exposure, but it's exposure. But in saying that, you leave it up to the department heads, and Billy decides that the best thing to do to, you know, the safety of her employees is to shut her office down. We have to use what time that we've accrued. Some have it, some don't. If y'all decide, then we get paid no matter what. And as Greg said, it is no fault of our own. We have kids, we have moms and dads and elderly people that we go home to, that we've exposed them to whatever we've been exposed to every day. We're not looking for a vacation. We just want to be safe. I don't want to be exposed to the public. I want to go home and be by myself with my husband or my child or whatever. If Billy needs me to come in this office to answer the phones or do online payments and no public comes in, I'm good with that. I don't want to be around any public, period. I just don't think it's safe. The CDC's stressing that, the president's stressing that, the vice president, everybody in the mom is stressing it. Why can't we hear it, take advice from it, and better be safe than sorry, in my opinion.
Good thinking, just say it.
How was your child? I don't mean to get too personal, but how was your
My
child?
child's 12.
12, so they're in school, active.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to school right
No,
now.
all of Angelina County is out of
No,
school.
everybody's out of school.
Yeah, every school.
So childcare is an issue. Childcare is an issue. And it's gonna be for another 30 days, from my
Exactly.
understanding.
And I mean, daycares are open right now, so if you gotta go to work, you gotta send your kid to daycare, you know.
That's exposure.
Right.
Exactly.
Bobby, I need to.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Out at the airport, we're kind of divided into two departments, the regular airport lineman and then the cafe.
Yes, sir.
And one of them, I believe, the field service is an essential
Essential.
thing because of the military that come in, and I don't doubt that we're gonna see a lot of that, plus the Mediplane, the helicopters that come in, everybody that gets taken down to Houston or Shreveport or whatever, they come fuel at our airport. And then, you know, the organ donors, those jets come in to harvest organs, and other things. But then maybe the most unnecessary department in the county is the cafe. And it might be the most exposed to the public because it's just the proximity that you end up being. And the guidance that I needed, however, was something that maybe hadn't crossed y'all's mind. But I have a couple part-time workers in the cafe that would be affected, and we've been thinking about them and how we could get them paid. But full-timers, I believe, would get paid.
If we don't pay them, we're gonna lose them.
Huh?
If we don't pay them, we're gonna lose them,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And, you know, over anyway.
Yeah. Mr.
But then,
Hilton?
you know, they don't have
Yeah.
built time.
Right.
Vacation.
Mr. Hilton, can I address you for just a minute, if you may? The sanitary conditions of the county facilities,
For one thing, we've been sanitizing and treating the flu since August.
yeah,
So really, we're not doing anything different because we've already been treating for an epidemic.
yes,
You
sir.
know, and as far as my department, maintenance, we're gonna have to work because we gotta keep the jail going. Because there's a lot of things that happens at the jail that falls under jail standard. Temperature in the room, temperature of the water, that they have water. And we have a period of time, I don't think the governor signing anything's gonna, Sheriff, is that gonna, we still gotta stay with jail standards.
Yeah.
So, but as far as sanitizing, I mean, I've been on the phone this morning, we're in good shape on our stock because I keep it up, but I placed a very large order this morning because they're telling me the back orders get filled first. So I said, well, I'm gonna be on the back order. It's just amazing, you know, of course, toilet paper, we're in good shape there, but I don't understand why they're running, but, as far as our sanitizing chemicals, and we have been, spraying and wiping with sanitized wipes, spraying with hospital grade, treatment. And, in fact, around Christmas time, we got accused at the courthouse of making it smell like a hospital. So I feel that evidently it's paying off.
Doing some good.
We have been setting off, bombs, on our holiday weekends in the courtrooms and here in the annex, that disinfectant bombs. And that way, when they go off, then it gives them a 3-day period for it to really work. I've talked to our filter company. They changed filters yesterday. I've told them I want it done twice a month instead of once a month. We're gonna do it every 2 weeks. I don't know if that's gonna help, but, and I know, Bobby, you sent me a text about maybe hiring somebody. I've talked to, Debbie Turner and Janice, and what we've come up with, if we had to, we'd hire outside company to come in and help us. That way I can take care of my budget, and if it gets to the point I need more money, I'll come to y'all and say, hey, I need to be reimbursed for this. So I think we're on the right path, of our part. You know, it's like you say, how many times can you wipe a doorknob? we're wiping the buttons on the elevator and, you know, several times a day, but a doorknob, every time somebody touches it, they've infected it. So, we'd almost have to have somebody standing at every door, and as soon as somebody went in, it wiped it down. Yeah, just open the door for them. Luckily at the courthouse, the front doors are automatic, so that's helped a little bit. But, and we've got, you know, we're spraying, we're just doing everything we can think of to do. And, but like I said, I talked to Janice and Debbie yesterday, and pretty well the idea is I have notified a couple of companies. One of them we have used in the past. He's supposed to get back to me and kind of see a schedule if we might need somebody to come in. If y'all decide to do close down, that'd be a time to have somebody come in and do a thorough cleaning. Courthouse is a problem, just like the annex. We got a lot of people coming in and out of that door.
Yes.
So.
I appreciate it.
Well, there's a lot of departments probably that's not represented here today. And it's obviously some essential stuff that's gonna have to go on. But I do think it'd be a lot safer if the public was limited, you know, limited access or no access, whatever y'all decide to do. But there are gonna be some essential jobs that's gotta be done. And therefore, I think the department head, you know, or elected official or whatever should make that call.
I'm on the side of extreme caution at this moment of no limitation, no limits, extreme limits, sorry. No access, just for the protection of the county, because that's what so many other agencies are doing as well. We need to decide on how long of a period we're gonna limit it.
Ricky, you wanna add anything?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. Actually, the health district this afternoon has came up with a coronavirus call center. This is new to everyone. This is the first time, and I'm gonna put this out on the county email and also on the Facebook page for the county. If y'all wanna write this number down, it's 936-630-8500. And that's, right now, that's Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. Those are probably gonna change, but starting out, that's what it's gonna be. And they're gonna screen calls and they're gonna triage you over the phone to begin with. And after that, if you meet the criteria of the virus, they're gonna get you set up with a testing site and a time. So everyone might wanna pass that on to all your families. We're gonna get it in the newspaper. KTRE's here, so we'll have it on there. But this is real. I mean, I know a lot of people have thought, I've been looking at this for about 3 weeks now, and it's 45% more, you got a 45% more chance of catching this than you do with flu. That's unheard of. That's never happened before. So it is something, it's something I don't think we need to panic over, because we have no confirmed cases. We have 4 in Tyler, 1 in Longview, and now 1 in Russ County, and 1 in Montgomery County. Those are the closest to us. But it is something that we need to really pay attention to, just simply because, and I've stressed this to everybody, about your older people, your grandparents. My mom's 94 years old, and I pretty much told her to stay at home and I'll take care of whatever she needs. But if you have grandparents or mother and fathers, it's, it's affecting people over 70 years old, and those are people that we really need to worry about. It's not affecting the younger people, not near as much. Diabetic. If you have a health condition, and if you're over 60, they say it's going to affect you. So, if you're a diabetic, heart problems, lung problems, if you're over 60, you really need to be careful. But as far as that, I don't wanna see this, I mean, we've talked about declaring a local disaster, but I really don't know if that's what we need to do right now, because we have no cases right now. That's on the back burner we need to think about, but, I'm just afraid if we do that, it could turn worse real quick, just as far as the public, as far as, you know how bad it is now. When you can't go in, I mean, you walk around go to any store, I drove by Academy today and there was 6 cars in the parking lot. That never happens. So, I mean, it's something we really need to, think about. But that's really all. That's what I really want to get out there, this number, where if you have any of the symptoms, call this number. They'll triage you over the phone. If you meet the criteria there, they'll set you up for a testing, because they have limited testing. There's not a lot of testing statewide. So they're just not gonna test you if you don't have fever, there's not gonna be any testing. But if you got a stomach ache, or you just don't feel good or something, don't tie that number up, because it's for the people that are really concerned about this virus. But that's all I got.
Thank you.
Ricky, what's the start date on that same number?
Right now, well, tomorrow, 8 to 4, 8 o'clock in the morning.
All right, let me go to number 2.
We've not covered it.
Yeah, we pretty much
I
covered it.
know, but I just wanna go ahead and make sure we hear it. All right, this number 2 is gonna be, discussion action on employees, department heads, work and compensation and duties for a period until March 31st, 2020, at which time we will be reviewed again. Now, what's your pleasure?
Well, I think I've expressed it. I think we should suspend services, except for essential services. Suspend non-essential services until 31st, and you know, with compensation, because we can't have employees not being paid and then expect them to come back for work and do their job that we've asked them to do.
Okay.
And for the safety and the benefit of the county. And if we come back on the 30th, if the court meets back on the 30th, you know, we can review and reassess, get more information from emergency management and the health district and CDC and things like that. If we need to extend for an extended period of time, another week, another 14 days, we can do it. But I think, you know, the 31st would be pretty much a halfway point of what this virus cycle is estimated to be. So, and I don't think that's going to be the end of it, quite frankly, because the schools are already taking the precaution of through the end of next month. So, I'd like to make that into a motion that if anybody's interested, that we suspend duties and provide compensation for county employees that are non-essential through the 31st, and err on the side of caution.
Saying from today through the 31st?
Today through the 31st, yes. And then full-time and part-time, yes, sir. Because,
Can I ask the two?
yes,
So who determines if it's essential?
department head. Department head will determine, such as payroll, such as elections, things like that.
I got a motion. Anybody want to second that?
I will.
A second. Mr. Pitts?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
Got a motion and a second. All right. Ready? Oh, yeah. Okay. All for it, raise your right hand.
Aye.
Anybody against? Pass. All right. Number 3, we've discussed this with,
I think we have someone wants to say something.
Yeah, we discussed.
I just wondering, like, say, if we are one of the essentials, or if the drive-thru's open and we are required to be here, if, you know, because us that have kids, we've had to be off already, we've had to use some of our sick time. If our sick time is not there, will we be paid for, God forbid, we do get the virus?
I think we do have a sick pool. I know we have that in place, and that's 8 hours.
Can you just say?
From the sick
I
pool.
I think we're gonna cover everybody no matter what. Did I misstate?
She's saying if she has to be off because she has the virus.
If you,
Like if
Ain't
we
nobody-
open the county back up, but she has to be off because she had to come in to do.
Anybody, you know, just
Anybody.
countywide.
yeah, we're gonna cover
Sick pool time's up to 30 days.
yeah,
6.
Yeah.
And then if we get to that point, we'll
reassess.
come back to court and compensate them.
Thank you.
All right, number 3 is, discussion action on sanitizing the county facilities. I think we've already covered
We
that.
covered that.
So, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? We got it covered. All right. Limiting public access to county facilities for public safety.
I think that's what we just did.
We pretty much did that. I'd like to see department heads, this is just me again, I'd like to see department heads put up a sign restricting access. I don't know where we get those signs made. Maybe Terry with his sign machine could make us some signs, you know, or whatever, even just a cardboard sign with a big Sharpie on it, and a phone number, you know, that people can call inside the office if it's available. I have strong reservations about closing, you know, public's access, but it's for the greater good at this point in time. Absolutely, it's for the greater good. And
So the courthouse will be.
courthouse is gonna be closed. I don't see any reason why we should endanger or jeopardize the public safety any more than what we have to.
All right. All facilities?
All non-essential facilities. Non-essential facilities. We can't close the jail, can't close the sheriff's office.
No.
Sorry, Sheriff, got to roar. We'll help you if you need to. Say, no, and you're not gonna get any help. You still gotta work.
Commissioner, point out one thing.
Yes, sir.
I don't know exactly the terms you're speaking of in closing the courthouse, but I know that there are hearings scheduled in various courts over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Judge?
They may all be, I mean, I know Judge Isles canceled his, but we have them on our calendar from county courts at law in the next, 2 or 3 weeks. And so
Y'all tell me, I don't know.
those are scheduled, and so by closing the courthouse, you'd be prohibiting people from coming to those hearings.
Well,
So that would be considered essential?
I mean, I think those things are scheduled and probably are essential to those people, but I'm not, I just don't know what terms you're talking about as far as closure. There's some things that are scheduled.
There are stuff, and I'll say this on behalf of Judge White. I mean, he's changed up his calendar, and he has had some safeguards where he was going to handle some civil matters by phone, where he is gonna be in the courthouse. The court recorder is going to be there, and maybe his coordinator, I'm not too sure. I don't know of any other judges' activities, what's gonna go on. I just made my own decision. I mean,
they can proceed at their own risk then.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm fairly sure that they're gonna use good common sense too. I
Yeah.
mean, just because I said something doesn't mean I'm right by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, someone told me, by the way, Sheriff, I didn't know if you knew this, you probably did, I didn't know this, and this may be some, sheriff can shut us down, courthouse down, as far as someone told me there's some statute out there that sheriff can shut us down from. So, I don't know if that's true or not. Okay, well, it's not me, but I'm only in charge of one, so, y'all, I guarantee you, our judges would, you know, if you, whatever decision you make, will abide by, and there will, we'll just say, salute smartly and move on and come up with something else.
Well, the landfill's gonna have to stay open.
Yes, sir.
Sheriff's office is gonna have to stay open. The airport fueling facility is gonna have to stay open. They may even have to feed military at some point in time if they come through. Yes, I mean. We've done that. So.
I mean, I'm gonna, like I said earlier, I'm gonna be open a little bit, because I'm going to appear by a video, but
We'll
that's.
just leave it up to the judge's court then, if they wanna work, or they feel the need. Counselor?
Yeah,
I mean, that was my only point, that there are some things that are still going on in some of the courts, and, I mean, I don't know that the court should go so far as, prohibiting people from attending those hearings, which will affect their lives.
And we will have.
Judges over those courts, I guess, are still holding those hearings. I mean, they're still on our calendars, and there's some things that are gonna come up, in this brief period that we do on a regular basis. I don't know how that would be handled, like detention hearings that, Roman just mentioned, for juveniles that are picked up, protective order applications, things that come up on short-term notice. I think there would need to be some access, some limited access maybe, for those types of things.
I tell you what, I will meet tomorrow with Judge White and our county courts, law judges, and I will tell them what the spirit of this commission is.
Okay.
And they will follow what the spirit is. I'll tell you that, okay?
Great.
Well, I mean, my deal was, I don't wanna just go over and throw a chain on the door.
No,
But-
that's not the
Yeah.
intent.
I think literally the best thing to do is I'll talk to the judges,
Yeah.
tell them what y'all's concerns are, let them proceed in a way that they, and all of those guys.
Oh, yeah, everybody's got-
And we'll put a sign, I mean, on the door though, I mean, if we actually do have to literally shut the doors and lock
Right.
the doors, we'll have an emergency number where they can contact the district clerk, the county clerk, each of the judges. I'll provide my cell phone number. If there's a problem,
Yeah.
we'll take care of it.
And we got deputies there as well.
Yeah, and I got Mr. Kirby's cell phone number, so I can give him that to everybody.
And we will.
Until, he talks to County Court 1 and 2, we're still gonna have to have some security at the front door, though.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
security. He's covered. He's immune to it anyway.
Is he immune?
Just make him keep it in his pocket.
Oh, I will. Oh, no, I hold it in my pocket.
Oh, there you go. But we will have Commissioners Court on the 24th. We gotta pay bills.
Yeah. All right. That's number 4, right?
Yes.
All right, number 5, discussion action on emergency declaration for Angelina County declared by Angelina County Judge Don Lindberry.
I think we just table that at this time.
Second it.
But one thing, we're talking about coming back on the 31st,
30th?
the 30th, so we need to talk to, have Sally
Yep.
put that out.
And we have a Commissioners Court between now and then. If we need to make a declaration, we can do it then
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
And if we wanna address something,
Go ahead.
One thing too is, Attorney General is supposed to be here on Monday. Now, they informed me yesterday that they've gone just to emergency cases, and, because they were through yesterday in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
We also, Tuesday, we have, CPS, and what I understand is they're going just to do emergency cases. Now, that's in courtroom 5. I don't know if they're gonna cancel or what. I mean, that's something I guess Sally can get a hold of the Attorney General and see what they're gonna do.
I would assume, but that courtroom should be open.
But still,
We can bring them through the back, they don't even have to
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah.
but still, we're not talking about just shutting the whole operation down.
Right.
We're talking about limiting the work of the people that come through the courthouse, is what we're trying to keep people from doing, so.
Well, I just wanted y'all to be aware of it.
Yeah,
We
that's
still
fine.
have that court
We
procedure.
still have work to do.
And now, one of the attorneys told me that, you know, it may change because whatever the Attorney General Texas decides to do, that's what they're gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
So, they may just.
Just keep it clean for them. And we are clear that our employees are gonna get paid. We are clear about that, correct? Our employees are gonna get paid.
All right, let me clear up something too for me. We're also saying that this is gonna be up to the department heads of what they need to have working or whatever. I mean, the department heads will say, okay, you need to help me this week, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then it be the cause, you know, and then they can work it out in amongst them. So, yes, ma'am?
What about mail? Will we all be running, somebody still going to pick up our mail and
Hilton,
deliver it to our offices, or they're going to be home too?
As far as I know, Robert is, he'll be picking up.
Mail gone wrong?
Now, if departments don't want it, I guess we can, get some bins and put everybody's mail in it. If we don't pick the mail up at the post office in 2 days, you'd have to have a truck go over and get it.
Yeah,
I would like mine, because I can do my job from home, so I can come.
right. Yeah, we need to pick the mail.
that'll work. Just get with Hilton. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
When's this gonna start?
Right now.
Right now? Okay. Oh, man.
Right now, or up to the department heads?
Everybody stay in touch with your department heads, and the department heads, please stay in touch with us. If you feel like we need to modify something, don't hesitate to ask us, because, I mean, we're human too, you know. Yes, ma'am.
And the department heads are considered the election officials, elected officials, but not the appointed.
That's a department head, yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right, let me
You're in
clear-
charge of that department.
All right, let me clear up something right quick. The number 5, okay?
Yes.
Discussion action on emergency declaration for Angelina County declared by Angelina County Judge Don Lindbergh. You said table it.
It's motion table.
I seconded it.
Now you vote on
Now we need to vote on it. Everybody in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? It's unanimous.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn has been made. We have a second.
it. Yes, second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This court is adjourned.
Thank y'all, everybody, for coming.